Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of New York or Nothing. Today we're going to be doing it with my broken ass voice. If you guys couldn't tell, I was at the game last night screaming my life out trying to get Trae Young to stop. He got us, boys. He got us. So exciting to be back at the Garden, one of the most electric buildings on this planet. Right as you're walking into the building, man, fans are going ballistic. It's a huge sea of orange and blue jerseys and people just chanting, "Go New York, go New York, go. Let's go Knicks. Fuck Trae Young, fuck the Hawks." You know, everything that you expected more from a New York City crowd that's been waiting 8 long years for this moment. As soon as you get into your seats, the whole stadium was shaking. Everyone was going insane. Every single play, the fans were on their toes. Honestly, it was the perfect game for that, where like it was such a back and forth game, neither team really taking a big lead. And like I told you guys, man, a lot of these games are going to be decided by 5 or less points, just because the Hawks and Knicks are very similar teams, and you know, they play a very similar brand of basketball. So we were just going to see this go down the wire, and I think we're going to continue to see it go down the wire. I really just can't emphasize enough how much that experience at the Garden was one of my favorite times ever, even though we lost, just because, man, the fans were in there. I saw so many little kids there enjoying the game and getting to know what MSG is about, and man, the whole stadium was rocking, man. It was so nice to see New York like that, and specifically, you know, feel like some semblance of my normal in real life. With COVID being such a disaster in the last year, being able to be at this game, honestly vaccinated, it was really comforting. It was really cool just to feel like for even 2-3 hours that life felt normal again. And I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of a video. I'm trying to edit this video for you guys to show you what my experience was like at the Garden. I could share with you guys how amazing and how much fun that was. But now that we got some of that housekeeping out of the way, let's talk a little bit about that game and some of my thoughts. Man, overall, bad game. We got off to a little bit of a slow start. I didn't really like where the offense was going in the beginning. We took a lot of the shots that we regularly take, but like I told you guys, Randle's going to be a little bit slow to start. Whenever we've seen him after week-long breaks like the All-Star break, or just in general after a longer break, he's admitted to us he just doesn't play well. He likes playing back-to-back. And same do the rest of our guys. They're just a bunch of hungry dogs, man. They like playing with a little bit of grit. They like playing with a little bit of chip on their shoulder. And I feel like they went into this week with a little bit of a break, a little bit of leeway, home court advantage. They were feeling themselves, and they kind of just let this game slip out of their hands. The positive I'm going to take out of it is we lost a game where Julius Randle only had 15 points and we lost by 2 points. Reggie Bullock went like cold from 3. RJ shooting 1 for 6. So I don't really expect our starters to play that poorly in the next few games. So a little bit of positivity there. The whole game just felt like the Trae Young game over and over again. Like I said in the last video, the biggest threat from this Hawks team is the pick and pop, pick and lob, pick and everything, and we legit could not guard that pick and roll for the life of us. We saw a little bit of pick and play from like literally any player. It was just mostly Trae getting what he wanted off those picks, and I feel like people don't understand how much Capella's picks have opened up Trae Young's game, just making it a little bit easier for him. In terms of just picking and popping, man, that was one of his favorite things to do, just get a little floater up, and that's how he's gonna cook. That's how Trae Young's gonna kill you, man. He's gonna make you feel like he's gonna lob to his big. He's gonna make you feel like he might kick out to a shooter, and then he ends up taking a floater for himself and feasting. This guy went for 30-something points in his first playoff game, 10 assists. Like, he's a special kid, man. He's a special kid. I just don't think the Knicks defense is really prepared for what Trae Young has to do. Our guard depth just does not allow good defense on Trae Young. I know a lot of you guys are going to point to Frank and say, you know, just stick Frank on him, but basketball just isn't as easy as that. Frank is kind of a little bit of a liability on offense, and I know you guys are always going to say, hey, play him over Elfrid Payton. Trust me, man, I'd play anyone over Elfrid Payton. I would love to see Frank start over Elfrid Payton, but it's not going to happen. Those 6 minutes we saw, or 8 minutes we saw from Elfrid Payton definitely cost us the game, like we said it would. We said the games would come down to a few possessions, and those 8 Elfrid Payton minutes are going to look really ugly. I was watching the footage again, and man, he just let Trae Young roll over him every single time. I think every play that Trae Young scored on Elfrid, he was just lagging right behind him. And when you got Elfrid Payton as your starting point guard, you know, my boys who are Hawks fans are hitting me up like, yo, shout out to Thibs, shout out to him for, you know, handicapping you guys and letting you guys play Elfrid Payton for 8 minutes a game. I'm a little bit worried that Thibs might not make these adjustments. And now that we're talking about Thibs, you guys know me. I was one of the biggest, like, you know, proponents of like non-Thibs slander. I was not trying to slander Thibs all season. I gave him a pretty long leash in terms of the mistakes he made. He started Elfrid Payton every game he played, and you know, we took what we could get because he got us back to a top 4 defense. He got our guys playing really well, so I wasn't gonna complain during the regular season, man. But if you're not gonna make adjustments during the playoffs, you're gonna end up losing, and it's gonna be frustrating, man. It's gonna come down to a few possessions. You hear RJ, you hear Randle, all our guys talking about, yeah, man, the playoffs are a different beast. It's all about every single possession, and we're handicapping ourselves at the start of the first and the start of the third. And you know, you hear Clyde Frazier talking about it, you hear Mike Breen talking about it. Nobody wants to violate Elfrid Payton, but he's just not the guy to be there. And honestly, man, I don't want to even blame Elfrid Payton anymore. I don't want to put this game on anyone besides Thibs. Thibs is the coach. You've been here before. You made it to multiple playoff games. You made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, you had a chance to close out this game. You had a chance to put your foot on their throats, and you just didn't. You didn't make the adjustments. We didn't have a shot. Derrick Rose, Elfrid Payton, none of these guys could really guard Trae Young, Burks either. I mean, I know Burks had a good game, but defensively, these guys are all a little bit a step too slow to guard him. And Frank, man, I don't know. I know a lot of you guys are super excited about Frank, but like, he just doesn't have a good track record against smaller guards. I feel like he's always better against bigger athletic guards, but I would still want to see him get a few good defensive stops on him. I understand the idea that, hey, why did we put Frank in only for the last defensive stop? He was cold all game, but like, this guy's supposed to be a defensive specialist. You should be ready, like a situational player type of situation, and ready to contribute to your team. Like, I don't know, man. Bad defense is one thing. You literally just let Trae Young walk into the paint. You know that he likes going to the right. You know he likes the floater. Force him to the left. Like, that's not only on Frank. I really don't want you guys to think I'm putting this game on Frank. I'm putting this game on Elfrid. Like, Thibs did. Todd didn't have the good help defense. It could have gone a lot of ways. That's why I'm going to put this kind of squarely on Thibs. I think he finally deserves some of this blame. And I like Randle's last shot. I didn't really like that shot, but I really bet you that it was probably Thibs telling him, hey, man, whatever you see the open shot, take it. Because how do you have Burks inbounding the ball when he's the hot hand, man? Like, be creative on offense. Think of something. Get Burks to be like a decoy, you know, because obviously he's the hot hand. They're going to guard him a little tighter. Get someone else to open shot. Unless Thibs can adjust his game in terms of offensive sets, defensive schemes, I don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of worrisome because, like I told you guys before, man, this Hawks team is a really damn good team. Trae Young did his thing this game, man. This all happened without Bogey really going crazy. I think he had like 18 points. You know, lost opportunity. It is what it is. Hopefully they can bounce back in Wednesday's game, which is, in my opinion, a must win. You have to win that game out. It's just too important. You can't go down 0-2 going back to Atlanta, giving them a chance to honestly sweep the series. I don't want to see it go down like that. But I really think that it's going to go 1-1. I think the Knicks will be able to get one. Like I told you guys, it's going to be a back and forth series. I think they go into Atlanta tied, and you know, hopefully they break 2 at Atlanta again and tie back, going back to MSG for game 5. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm not going to ride Randle too much. I know a lot of you guys are going to want to violate Randle, but that's just not going to be my MO. He took a lot of shots that, frankly, I just think he can make. I didn't see anything that he took that I was like, wow, you should not be taking that shot. But he missed them. He got to his spots. Maybe he rushed to his spots. You could convince me that. Like he looked like he was playing a little bit hasty. I'm not going to squarely put it on him. He definitely deserves blame, you know, being the engine of our team, being the main guy on our team. He's gonna get some of that hate, but I'm gonna put this game on Thibs. Randle got played with single coverage the whole game, so in terms of playmaking, we didn't really get to see anything crazy, But, you know, there were times where I saw him being a little too unselfish, trying to get the ball to others when, you know, your teammates aren't making shots. I get it, you're trying to get them hot, but, you know, altogether, it's just all the starters. They weren't making shots. It was tough to stay in that game. Let's talk a little bit about Alec Burks, who kept us in the game, man. Wow. I don't know how many games we're going to get from AB like that, but, you know, I'm all here for it. I personally think the Knicks starting woes should be answered by Alec Burks. I know a lot of you guys want to see Frank in there. I know a lot of you guys want to see Rose in there. But the reason I think Alec Burks would be the most ideal player to start is because we've tried it with him during the season. We've tried to let him handle the ball and be the point guard. And he did a pretty good job at it. He's not the best facilitator, but you know, a lot of our guys on our starting lineup can get their own shot, and Randle could help feed them. So, I like Alec Burks at the point guard position. I think taking him out of the bench mob doesn't really hurt the bench mob because Alec Burks is just like a single scorer. He really gets his own shot. He calls his own number. So I don't really think it affects the bench as much as taking Derrick Rose out of the bench. Derrick Rose is complementary to Immanuel Quickley, to Obi Toppin's game, and also Taj Gibson. So I just don't want to see Alec Burks, you know, so I just don't want to see Derrick Rose be taken out of that and cause some problems. I think Alec Burks would be the ideal starter. The only reason I don't want to put Frank in there is because he's just not that great offensively. I get it. He showed flashes, but like I said earlier, man, every possession counts. I like what Alec Burks has given us. I'd like to see Frank get a little bit more burn. He could definitely pick up all the minutes that Payton has been getting, those 8 minutes. I would love to see Frank get those minutes. I feel like he will be effective in those minutes because we mostly just need him to lock up any one of the players. Maybe get physical with Trae. Maybe get physical with Bogey. I don't know. I just feel like the Knicks defense was a little bit all over the place, and that I don't see that happening again. I think they're gonna come back with a little bit better of a defensive scheme. I think Thibs will adjust. As much as I've been slandering him, I think he'll be able to adjust. One of my favorite parts about the game is the fact that both of our rookies, Immanuel Quickley and Obi Toppin, looked so fluid out there, so comfortable, man. Immanuel Quickley making some big shots, getting the crowd ramped up, hyped up, and then like Obi Toppin with that slam, with a nice three, and you know, you would think our main guys would be the ones who are comfortable and our young guys with the jitters, but I guess the pressure was really on Randle and RJ's shoulders. At the end of the day, that's exactly why you want the Knicks to be here. You want them to make playoffs. We're already ahead of schedule and playing on house money. Yes, I'd like to win a series against the Hawks. I think we're going to win a series against the Hawks, but we're out here. You know, we got our rookies playing some meaningful minutes in playoff basketball, and that's what you want for our future. That's how you want to see our team develop. I got to go with 4 of my friends who aren't Knicks fans and my girlfriend, and you know, they don't even have the feeling that I have in MSG in terms of like, this means so much to me. I love the Knicks and whatnot, but they literally would not stop talking about how that building was just, it was alive. It was breathing, it was shaking, it was moving and grooving, man. Everyone in that building was so excited for that game. And you know, I know the Knicks are a little upset they couldn't close out for the home crowd, but it's alright, man. Just, you gotta get the next one. The next game is a must win. If it makes you guys feel any better, I think the Knicks losing definitely helps their odds in terms of taking the series. You can get some pretty good bets on there, so if you guys like your odds there, I'll definitely recommend taking a bet. I think the Knicks are going to have a really good bounce back game. I expect to see no Elfrid Payton in the starting lineup. If I see him in the starting lineup, I'm going to assume that Thibs is throwing the white flag, and I'm kind of going to break my TV because there's no way I want to see that guy start on our team again. It's basically taking it lying down. I don't want to see that. I think Randle will have a much better game. I think RJ will have a much better game, so excited to see that. Hopefully these guys can step up and show a little bit of urgency because this next game is going to be really important. Man, honestly, it's so funny because I seen like on Twitter someone said like Trae Young is apparently afraid of birds or something, so Knicks fans should come out wearing bird costumes and scaring him. Knicks fans are a different type of funny. Man, Trae Young played for the Hawks, bro. You think he's still scared of birds? Like, there's nothing to be scared of, bro. He's gonna be aight. Like, you guys, we do this to ourselves, man. I get why everyone thinks Knicks fans are so insufferable. That's what you guys think is gonna close out the series? Man, I feel like I'm saying all this right now, and then watch, my boy gonna go in a Big Bird costume and end up having Trae Young go 5 for 15 in the next game. If you guys like my content, make sure you guys are liking, commenting, and subscribing. I have another video coming out. I got a lot of good footage at the game, so I'm hoping to compile that together to show you guys a little bit of what my experience was like at the Garden, sitting so close to the floor. I want to hear your guys' thoughts about the game. Could you guys tell me what you guys think the Knicks could do to be more effective against Trae Young? How would you guys like us to guard him, and what would you guys like to see out of our team to win the next game? As always, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. It's always love, and I'm really excited to see you guys, after the next Knicks win. Peace.